Okay, so how to stop drinking? The $1 million question. What I'm going to do for you today is give you as much as my experience as I can in terms of the core fundamentals of the steps that you need to take to stop drinking or drugging. The same rules apply. I do recommend that you work with a professional to do this. It's a huge amount of change in terms of the new neurological pathways that you need to develop, the relationship with your nervous system, the level of deep healing, because this is a pathological self-soothing of a deep psychological wound. The reason why, and this is the reason why it is so difficult to stop drinking. Alcohol also plays with the dopamine pathways. It is a highly addictive substance, and it's legal and it's accessible everywhere. It has some of the biggest consequences of any of the drugs that are available, but yet it's widely accepted and accessible. So be kind to yourself. There's reasons that you have a drinking problem, and that is not your fault. If you have a drinking problem, there is some level of complex childhood trauma, even if it's deeply hidden and you're not familiar, you don't remember the memory anymore, but there's a reason why the pain. There's a reason that you've been hurt and you've sought out a pathological self-soothing, and it is a solution to the problem that maybe up until now has been working, but it's not working anymore. So we need to look at how you stop. So firstly, I'd say, now if there's comorbidity, so if you have mental health problems, so bipolar, depression, anxiety, BPS, anything like that, I would say go to a clinical psychologist with a specialization in complex trauma and addiction. If we're looking at just straight addiction, then I'd say go to a qualified recovery coach. Again, I'm going to give you all the information that I can now so that you can try and do this without a professional, and then you make the decision what you'd like to do. So in terms of the steps that you need to take, you need to keep a diary and really look at reflect on when you've been losing control with the drinking, when it escalated, basically a timeline since you were young to now. You could do 2 separate timelines. One that looks at every traumatic experience you've ever had. Another one that looks at your drinking and drugging or any other pathological self-soothing, relationship with food, eating disorder, and look at the correlation between the two. Now, again, I'm coming back to really practical advice for drinking. You're going to need to look at ensuring that you have the pillars of good mental health in your life. And that means that ideally you're going to be doing purposeful work or something that gives you, that you're in your creative genius, that lights you up from the inside, or if not, on a path to doing that. You need to have tribe. You need to have support. This is where I recommend AA or NA, because it can give you that tribe, that support, the people that will understand and help you. Again, you might not be ready for that, but just keep it in mind. But definitely let your close friends know. Your partner, your close friends, your family member, as many as you feel comfortable that you think won't judge you as well, because being able to be authentic and honest and vulnerable and courageous and not being judged is very powerful on your healing journey. So really select the right people to tell. Other people have an excuse. You're training for a marathon, it's a health kick, whatever you feel comfortable with. Right now, we're just looking at taking a break. Let's start with a month, then we go day by day. Ideally we're aiming for long-term sobriety, but that's a scary thought, because you just think about, just today I need to get sober, and set yourself a little guideline, say a month, where you're going to celebrate if you cannot drink for a month. But so coming back to the pillars of mental health, you need to have tribe, you need to have ideally work that's helpful, you need to have exercise, you need to have connection, you need to have time in nature. So really what that looks like is ideally a really solid morning routine and evening routine with limited tech time, because that actually lowers your dopamine set point in terms of too much time and especially if you're on Instagram, comparing, you know, your back cuts in your life to somebody else's show reel. So really, we want to get you just firstly in a really great healthy routine. The fundamental things you need to be doing are sleeping 8 hours or close to. I will do another video all around sleep and how you gain good sleep, because it's an art form. But sleeping, drinking water, drinking and like eating as much whole food that's traveled a short distance to your plate. So not processed food, not fast food, whole food as much. You may need some supplementation in the start if you've been drinking too much, especially B. But let's just stick to the fundamentals. So sleeping, eating, time in nature, time with good friends, time in tribe. That's really, really important. So, you know, there's some research that talks to the fact that, you know, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's actually connection. So you need to have people that you can really speak to honestly, openly, deep-hearted, meaningful conversations. Time in nature is really important, and planning out the initial stages is really important as well. Look at your home environment, get all alcohol out of the house, get the closest people to you knowing that you're not drinking, get your plan down on paper, get your diary ready, schedule in that morning routine. Ideally, you're going to have meditation, yoga, some quality friend time, time in nature, and whenever you get into these ruminative thoughts, when you start questioning yourself, move. The easiest way to move an emotion is not to outthink your way out of it. It's to actually move your body. Shake, dance, get in the car. Showers are really good. Get in water. Breath work and yoga are very, very powerful tools. These are the top line things that you need to do and plan. And just keep watching the videos for more specifics around each of the different methodologies, ways of doing it, ways of coping, ways of working with your nervous system. They're the fundamentals, and hopefully that will get you started.